So today's features on Jayden Brailey's Achilles Tendon Rupture. There he is on Instagram post-surgery and his plaster cast protecting the injury. So last week on a Saturday, the Knights reported that Jayden had suffered an Achilles Tendon Rupture, that he was going to have surgery later in the week, and that the injury had occurred during a non-contact team training session, which is often the way an Achilles Tendon Rupture occurs. He probably did it running from dummy half, looking to pass. That's the most likely mechanism he did it. Now, how's the Achilles injured? Well, usually it's what's called a plantar flexion injury, so that means the toes are pointing down, the heel's pointing up, and there's a force applied downwards, and you go to push off and it gives away. The other method of doing it is what's called violent dorsiflexion, where the foot's wrenched back towards the knee, but that would have been more likely to occur in a contact session, so probably unlikely to be the way Jayden did his injury. That's the position he was likely in as he went to push off, and he would have felt an area give way at the back there, which is where his Achilles tendon is, where the arrow's pointing. Now, this is Connor Watson. Connor did his Achilles tendon rupture last year. Commonly, the way people describe it as Connor did is felt like someone kicked me in the back of the leg, or felt like someone shot me in the back of the leg, but usually there's no one around you when you do the injury. Now, Jayden would have had what's called a minimally invasive Achilles surgery, so those are where the cuts go. They're about 1 centimetre and a bit each. That has been shown to slightly reduce the risk of infection with Achilles, and is generally the way the professional athletes have their Achilles repaired nowadays. That here is the Achilles from the back. So it starts off as a muscle. Tendons come from muscle. And then we're just going to mark each side there in yellow of the Achilles tendon. So normally it's one yellow strip, but you'll see in the middle there that there's a red area, and that's where the two ends have departed from one another, and so there's a gap filled with blood, which is in red there. Now, the way the Achilles is repaired is that stitches are put through the top part of the tendon, and then they're basically inserted using something called an anchor, which is the area in blue there. It sort of looks like a screw, and then basically the Achilles is then tightened, brought together, and held with the anchor so that the two ends are together. That's all done underneath the skin, obviously. Now, there's Jayden there recovering. You'll notice that his plaster has his foot pointing down. That takes tension off the Achilles, and the surgeon will likely have him that for a week or two while the wounds heal, and then his stitches will usually be taken out somewhere between the 10 and 14-day mark. Now, in terms of return to play, we've seen Achilles injuries in Connor Watson, Sean Johnson, and Kurt Baptiste. Johnson and Watson the most recent. They both took 7 months to get back. Baptiste was about 5 months, and so was Darius Boyd. So probably somewhere between a 5 to 7, 8 month recovery is likely in terms of returning to the NRL. In saying that, the NFL players take longer. Now, will this impact on his performance when he returns? Well, we don't have any data from that on the NRL, but we do from the NFL, and certainly there's a big impact on their players. So, in regards to the NFL, 50% drop in their power rating scores after they return. Now, power ratings are similar to sort of Supercoach scores, so the performance is not as good when they make it back. It particularly affects running positions, so wide receivers, running backs, cornerbacks. So definitely, hookers, wingers, those sort of players in rugby league are going to have a drop in their performance, and that's what we see in the NFL. We also find the NFL that they're less likely in terms of touchdowns, fewer rushing touchdowns to running backs per season, so we can definitely expect Brailey to not necessarily be as good in terms of performance when he gets back. But look, that's the end of our video, guys. Hope you enjoyed our video. Please take a look at our other Achilles tendon video, and also one of our other NRL analyses. And certainly if you like our videos, please subscribe to the Foot Neck Orthopedic Surgeon. We really appreciate you listening, and tune in next time.